Alright, so these are my speaking notes. This is my call to action. This is the room that I will be presenting in. This is my lovely audience, which I'll give to my mom. The title of my speech is Promoting More Public Transportation at Kennesaw State University. Go. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. Okay, so by a show of hands, how many of you guys recognize this picture? If you don't, this is a picture of a MARTA bus that is blocking the view of the implosion of the Georgia Dome, which I found very funny. But this picture is not only meant to be funny. This picture also has a deeper meaning, because when you look at this picture, what you see is the use of public transportation. And I believe we should promote more public transportation at Kansas State University. I'm Borna Eghtesadi, and I'm 20 years old. I am a junior at Kennesaw State University, where I use public transportation every single day to get in between classes. The major that I'm pursuing is environmental science, because ever since I was a child, I was in love with the environment, and now with this climate change crisis, we have to try and preserve Mother Nature. So today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the lack of use of public transportation, the important use of public transportation, and the solution to the problem. So let's jump right in and let's talk about the lack of use of public transportation. I recently did a survey with students, and I have found that the top 2 reasons why students do not want to use public transportation is because they find them unreliable and uncomfortable. I have talked to many of my friends who have told me that when they go on the buses, sometimes the bus gets overcrowded and you don't have any personal space, which makes it a very uncomfortable environment. Or even Zachary Wood, writer of the New York Times, on August 28, 2018, talked about his own personal experience when he was in college and how that he would witness gunshots next to the bus, or even people pooping next to the bus stop in college, which is a very unsafe environment. Now, other than it being uncomfortable, it also has been known to be unreliable. I have also been talking to my friends, and they have said that sometimes the bus comes late, but they can't afford for the bus to come late, because when the bus comes late, they're going to miss class, especially if it's like a test or an exam. Or even Barry Chappell, writer of the Western Morning News, on October 16, 2007, talked about how he shared his trip about his wife and how when he went on a vacation and how every single bus route or train route had been canceled or been delayed. And you don't want to experience that, he said. He said when you experience that, you do not want to use public transportation ever again. So if we know that public transportation can be unreliable and uncomfortable, why should anyone use public transportation? Which leads me on to my next point. The lack of use of public transportation only enhances the importance of public transportation. The simple answer of why public transportation is so important is to help solve the climate change crisis, which is to reduce our carbon footprint. Lucas Clay, writer of the Transport Reporter, on October 1st, 2008, talks about how in Australia, with all these Australian wildfires that are happening, they know the start of climate change. So they're trying to push the government to shift from individual automobiles to public transport, because they know that public transport reduces a lot more emissions than automobiles. Now I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's say you have a bus that's filled with 40 students and a bus driver, or you have 41 gasoline individual cars. Which one will pollute more, which one will pollute less? The bus will pollute a lot less, because even though it has one big engine, it's not as equal to 41 individual engines, and it carries a big load. So, as you can see, the public transportation can greatly help the climate change crisis. And even Hannah Chapman, writer of the Northern Echo, on May 16, 2007, talked about how the biggest factor of climate change are automobiles, especially individual automobiles. They tend to be one of the biggest factors of climate change. So if you know that if you can use public transportation instead of having your own car, then you would do a great deal in helping the crisis. And I know that many people have told me that they want to use their own cars because they want their own space. But one thing that we have to understand is that climate change is a universal matter, and whatever I do is going to affect everyone. So if you know that if you want to have your own individual car, even though you could use public transportation, you are also affecting the whole world with whatever you do. So now we see that public transportation can be unreliable, uncomfortable, and we have a climate change crisis in our hands. So what's the solution to this? The simple solution is that we should try to promote more people to use public transportation. If you can, try to use public transportation. And another way is that we have to help get more funding from the Department of Transportation at Kansas State University. And you might say, how can we implement that? The only way that we can change things is by speaking out and reaching out. We should email our Department of Transportation at Kansas State University and let them know why we need more. I have a petition here that I want you guys to sign so we can give it to the president of Kansas State University to let her know that we have to do something about this. Because let me give you a visualization. Let's say we email the Department of Transportation and we sign this petition and the president approves. What's going to happen? We're going to have more buses. Why? Because there's more funding and there'll be more bus drivers that they can afford. When you have more buses, it'll be less likely to be unreliable because you have more buses coming more than once. Also, if you have more buses, there's less of a chance of buses getting overcrowded, so you have more personal space and get more comfortable. So, now if you do not do this, if you do not do any of this, what we're going to have, because if you don't speak about anything, nothing's going to change. We're still going to have uncomfortable, unreliable buses, and especially we're not going to reduce our carbon footprints. So, to sum it up, we have learned that public transportation can be unreliable and can be uncomfortable. And we also know that we have a climate change crisis on us. The solution is that we have to keep promoting public transportation because we know that if we do, we can make public transportation more reliable, more comfortable, and we can help solve the climate change crisis. I have this petition here, petition to provide more funding for the Department of Public Transportation at Kansas State University. We need more reliable and more comfortable public transportation. We need to lower emissions to help solve our climate change crisis. Please sign below. I hope you guys sign, and I thank you for listening to my speech. Thank you.